Now on Emeritus Newsbrief, I'm Lynn Houston. The battle is on once again over those photos of prisoners being tortured. President Obama says the release of those photos could cost more American lives. The ACLU won their case against the Bush administration to release documents and photographs related to the torture of prisoners at Iraq's Abu Ghraib prison and at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. The government did comply under the succeeding Obama administration to release the documents, but now President Obama has changed his mind and says the government will fight the release of the additional photos.
The individuals who were involved have been identified and appropriate actions have been taken. It's therefore my belief that the publication of these photos would not add any additional benefit to our understanding of what was carried out in the past by a small number of individuals. In fact, the most direct consequence of releasing them, I believe, would be to further inflame anti-American opinion and to put our troops in greater danger. Moreover, I fear the publication of these photos may only have a chilling effect on future investigations of detainee abuse. And obviously the thing that is most important in my mind is making sure that we are abiding by the Army manual and that we are swiftly investigating any instances in which individuals have not acted appropriately and that they're appropriately sanctioned. That's my aim, and I do not believe that the release of these photos at this time would further that goal. Now let me be clear, I am concerned about how the release of these photos would impact on the safety of our troops. I have made it very clear to all who are within the chain of command, however, of the United States Armed Forces that the abuse of detainees in our custody is prohibited and will not be tolerated. I have repeated that since I've been in office. Secretary Gates understands that, Admiral Mullins understands that, and that has been communicated across the chain of command. Any abuse of detainees is unacceptable. It is against our values. It endangers our security. It will not be tolerated. All right? Thank you very much, everybody.
Also, during a hearing in Washington, one man responsible for carrying out interrogations of prisoners and another former State Department official in the Bush administration both claimed torture of the prisoners accomplished nothing.
The technique is also unreliable. We don't know whether the detainee is being truthful or just speaking to mitigate his discomfort. The technique is also slow. Waiting 180 hours as part of a sleep deprivation stage is time we cannot afford to waste in a ticking bomb scenario.
The U.S. government, over the past 7 years, adopted an unprecedented program in American history of coolly calculated, dehumanizing abuse and physical torment to extract information. This was a mistake, perhaps a disastrous one. It was a collective failure in which a number of officials and members of Congress and staffers of both parties played a part, endorsing a CIA program of physical coercion even after the McCain Amendment was passed and even after the Hamdan decision. Precisely because this was a collective failure, it is all the more important to comprehend it and learn from it.
The Defense Department has released the names of those killed by Sergeant John Russell at the Military Personnel Stress Clinic shootout in Baghdad. Their identities in a Pentagon Channel report immediately after this news brief on the Emeritus News channel on Mogulus and the Emeritus News homepage. More older and unmarried women are having births in the U.S., that according to statistics from the CDC. The latest report claims births to unmarried women totaled 1,714,643 in 2007. That's 26% more than in 2002. Nearly 4 in 10 U.S. births were to unmarried women in 2007. Birth rates have risen considerably for unmarried women in their 20s and over, while declining or changing little for unmarried teenagers. More on the Emeritus News healthcare page. Also on the Emeritus News healthcare page, President Obama met with congressional leaders where he got a commitment to have a health reform package on his desk before the August congressional recess.
Legislation will be on the floor by the end of July, I am quite certain, and that is really cause for celebration for the American people.
Whatever plans emerge, both from the House and the Senate, I do believe that they've got to uphold 3 basic principles. First, that the rising costs of health care have to be brought down. Second, that Americans have to be able to choose their own doctor and their own plan. And third, all Americans have to have quality, affordable health care.
Also on the Emeritus News homepage, another pension plan at a medical center goes belly up, this one in Pennsylvania, but a government agency has moved in to rescue it. And an update on legislation now moving ahead in Congress to crack down on credit card companies. The latest on the biggest issues and public policy at emeritusnews.com and the Emeritus News channel on Mogulus. That's an Emeritus News Brief. I'm Lynn Houston.